Welkom bij de podcast Expat to Repat, je weer thuis voelen in Nederland, waarin ik, Mirjam de Bakker, jou aan de hand van mijn eigen ervaringen en de verhalen van andere repats meeneem in hoe het is om weer terug te verhuizen naar je thuisland. Zodat jouw terug naar Nederland reis sneller en fijner verloopt dan de mijne. Dear listeners, welcome to the podcast Expat to Repat. Today, as usual, I'm going to interview someone, and it is my pleasure to have someone that came from an executive background, lived abroad, came back, and is willing to share in a very open way with us why he did not stay with the company. And I think it's very relevant in this day and age, and what we want to achieve with Resettle, to be able to share this story. So, well, stick with us and let's see what this interview will bring. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
It's nice that we're allowed to talk to you about this. So I always ask the people in my podcast, so you are Dutch, you were working in the Netherlands, and you decided to go abroad for the company. Was that something that was pre-planned in your case, or was it just a spur of the moment thing?
It was actually something that my wife and I had pre-discussed multiple years ago, even prior to us getting kids, which was a very fortunate event, of course. We always had the dream to potentially spend a few years abroad, or maybe a longer period abroad, potentially, but somehow that never materialized in the jobs that I had, until the time that I was working for a global telecommunications company, and they had an urgent need for someone to have the experience within the company, potentially also specifically another geography, another region that was willing and able to move over to the US to pick up actually the largest customer for this organization in the United States, and an account that was at significant risk. Dus it was a combination of skill set, experience, as well as willingness to move over. And actually the whole picture fit together like a glove.
Yeah, that's amazing sometimes how things work in life. Opportunities go. It's always, there's an opportunity, you have to be able to grab it as well, to see it, to get the opportunity and to grab it. So you spent a couple of years in the US. At one point, I assume that particular job was done. The role that you had there, the reason that you went over there was completed, or I don't know how to call that, but was it then a logical step to go back to the Netherlands, or was it something you wanted, or?
Yeah, it was a specific assignment. It was an account, a customer, a red carpet customer in jeopardy, where the assignment was to salvage and rescue the account for the longer term, get a contract re-sign in place. Wow. The mobility office of the company was really skilled and very helpful in relocating individuals and their families, if applicable, to other countries on the planet. That was the mobility center of the organization, very well structured and taken care of. So there was a specific assignment and a particular mobility contract that very specifically indicated the period of time you'll be abroad is for 24 months with an option to extend with another 12 months. And after that, you would return to the home organization. So I've always maintained during this period of time as an expat my home contract with the legal entity in the Netherlands for that organization.
Okay, so yeah, that's actually, it's nice that it's that it's thought out so well and that you knew exactly what to what would happen. So one day you returned to the Netherlands, and what were your expectations? Were you happy to come back and thinking, okay, let's dive into this and let's go? Or
it was something that I knew was not necessarily going to be easy, because obviously if you leave a job for a period of 2 or 3 years, you know your prior job does no longer exist or is given to someone else. And apart from that, the organization may change, which actually happened as well. So I've been quite proactive. That was part of the arrangement as well, that after 18 months of the 24, we would have our initial conversations. Are we or are we not going to extend with another 12 months until 36 months? Actually, to give you the concrete example, the contract started in August. So at that time, at the December, January timeframe, we had that conversation. We decided to extend the contract with a period of 12 months. So naturally, in Q4 the year after, we reassessed the situation. And I indicated, keen to not stay in the country and migrate to a local contract, but repatriate to the Netherlands. And I was actively engaging with the human resource department, the talent acquisition leads, to look at alternative employ in the organization. And that turned out to be spectacularly complicated, so to say. That was not a natural fit with my improved, enhanced, expanded experience. And there was no natural landing spot in the organization for my skill set either. So it was a complicated discussion that we had for actually quite a few months before we found a job that I felt I settled for, so I could land in a job and immediately seamlessly continue my career with the company. But it was also on both ends missing the mark of what we were trying to accomplish going forward. So for me, it felt like a placeholder. And also, I felt that I'd been quite a good corporate citizen by finding and supporting this, finding a relevant succession job quite early on. But it turned out that that was not necessarily available. So I sort of settled, and that never really came to fruition in the sense of finding that a interesting career move. It was a have to do and not a want to do, like I originally started and embarked on the travel and the relocation to the United States at the time.
If I'm sure you took moments to reflect on this whole period much later. Do you think, looking back, at any point in time, the organization could have done something different to help you find something that did fit?
Yeah. Well, let me say something very positive about the company as well as a potential recommendation. So what was very well organized was this mobility center, an expert team of 4 or 5 people who were supporting with all the practicalities around relocating a family with 3 teenage kids and make them land and stay well for that period of time, including the move and migration back from a organization perspective. So that was done with great care, precision, and attention. So zero complaining there. It was almost a poster child of how that should be organized. I think the component that was unfortunately missing is the career perspective out of the HR, the human resources component of how does this fit in an overall career path of an individual that you want to potentially relocate somewhere else, and how are you as an organization going to capitalize on that investment, which it was, other than the job is done, thank you very much, and now back to normal. There from a talent maintaining and expansion and development perspective, there should have been a more warm welcome in the sense of someone gained additional experience. This is incredibly valuable. We invested a lot of money, and this is how we think about capitalizing on that investment whilst maintaining that person for the company and continue to reap the benefits of that. That sort of interaction was completely missing.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. And I think it's never intentionally done in a bad way. It's something that often doesn't exist. It's not thought of when you leave. It's not really, doesn't really come into play during the time you're away. It's kind of an out of mind, out of sight situation. And the cost of doing nothing is far greater than putting in the effort to retain your international talent, because you're loyal to your employer. You're an incredible ambassador. You've worked really hard overseas, well, to save their people, because it was an urgent need. So it was really, for them, it was brilliant that you were there and that you did the job so well. So we should take, or they in general should take better care of people like you, and there's so many of you, and actually nurture and value the talent instead of letting it slip away, I guess.
Yeah. What in actuality happened is after 9 years working for the same company in 3 or 4 different rotations, this international opportunity emerged, and I've taken it with quite an enthusiastic approach. When returning after that year number 12, being with the company, not very happy. And in less than 12 months, I resigned and found other employ with a company that truly valued that global and international experience. So that's really unfortunate to underline your comment.
Yeah, well, I'm very happy that you found a company that does value what you bring to the table. But I'm grateful that you wanted to share this experience with us, because we know from talking to a lot of people behind the scenes that you are not the only one, that it happens more often than we think. And we really feel something should be done about that, and something better should be in place to value those who work so hard to keep the company, its reputation afloat as well.
I couldn't agree more.
Anything you'd like to share? Any tips or any insights or anything that I forgot to ask that you think is important?
Potentially one thing that popped up in my mind as preparation for today's interview is that I may have underestimated the impact of going abroad and doing a genuine international career, and then landing within the sovereign state of the Netherlands with its own peculiarities in terms of behavior and types of interaction with the company. I may have outgrown that a little bit as well. And after interviewing for several jobs, after having left this telecommunication company, I did not only apply for international roles, but also with roles that were really, covering just the Netherlands in terms of geography. And I quickly found out that that was a hard sell for myself to land well. So going abroad, the learning for me was only an international job, ideally a global role, was going to sort of feel that that additional experience and the need to have a global view again. And I don't think I'll ever end up in a just quote unquote Netherlands role again based on that experience.
That's a very valid point. I think as soon as you start working outside of the boundaries of your own country, you expand your horizon, your mind, you broaden your mind, your skills. And it's incredibly, I think it's for any country, it's incredibly difficult to fit right back in a way. So yeah, you might have experienced what we call reverse culture shock in a way.
I
I
definitely
remember,
think so.
yeah, after my time in Asia, I remember just being shocked at how rude everyone was here. Now, a couple of years later, I get it, but it's still not my favorite way of interacting with people. But you can't explain it to someone who never left the country. So it's always going to be a balance, I guess.
Absolutely. But I've always looked back at the period in the United States. Actually, I had 2 different stints very favorably, and a great learning experience. So never regretted the experience, but
No.
look back at a fun time and a great learning experience.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your answers and for giving us an insight in your view on things.
You're very welcome.
We're gonna take this on board with Corrine, and go forward with our mission
Fantastic.
to help expats and repats. Yeah.
Great.
So thank you very much.
Great mission, and best of luck with your endeavors.
Thank you.
Oh, voordat je verder gaat, nog even dit. Ben jij HR of Global Mobility Manager en hou je je bezig met Employee Experience?
Weet dan dat wij jouw sparringpartner zijn als het om een reboarding traject binnen je organisatie gaat. Neem contact op via events@resettle.nl.